Let's go. Mind over matter. Put your mind somewhere else and keep going. That little voice in your head is trying to stop you from getting to where you want to be. Be successful and keep moving forward.
With your host and world-renowned strength and conditioning coach, Phil Daru.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Daru Strong Podcast, episode 002, where we interview the people that personify the meaning of strong. Now, today I have a special guest, somewhat you would say a mentor of mine, has been a coach of mine since I started in MMA. And if you know anything about me, you know about the interviews I've done in the past. I've talked about this individual and how he started me on my journey in mixed martial arts. I have in the studio with me, Mr. Dean Thomas. Dean, what's up?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm thankful that you're actually here in the pandemic era right now.
Yeah.
You know, it is
a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I don't care.
I know that. I know that. That's nothing to, honestly, for me, knowing you for such a long time, nothing really surprises me in a way with you. But that's good, though.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
I like to keep people on their toes.
Yeah. So, again, that people that don't know Dean, which you should, ex-UFC fighter, Ultimate Fighter alumni, coach for American Top Team for a long time, UFC veterans, champions. But people also don't know the other side of you. I do want to go over that in the future and later on in the podcast. But go ahead and give them a rundown of your come up. Like, how'd you get started in MMA?
Oh, wow. So, I don't know. I was small growing up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you saw me like last year, it was like, it's fat.
Yeah.
But that was on purpose because I've been small my whole life. So I was a small kid growing up.
Yeah.
Like 7th grade, I was like 70 pounds.
Yeah.
So, and as guys, like the worst thing in the world is like getting your ass kicked. Like you never want to get beat up. Like that's the thing. You don't want to get beat up. So I remember in high school, my sister showed me this video from UFC 2 and like watching Hoist Gracie.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment I saw it, I was like, I gotta learn how to do that.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, I saw that and I have to learn how to do that.
Now, when were you? How old were you then?
I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah, 17.
So you started fairly young in a way, right?
Yeah. So I was 17, but I was just like, but at that time, like there was no opportunity. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like nowadays, like you just go down the street and just sign up at a school.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta learn how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was like, how am I gonna learn how to do this?
Yeah.
And so, but here's the thing though, it's like at the same time, like I had just graduated high school and I was like trying to go to college and all this and that. And then I got in a little bit of trouble. I busted some dude in the head with a wrench.
Wow.
And, so like,
wow.
So it was like,
Dean got a little bit of anger.
yeah, sometimes, man, like I'm quiet, but I'll snap. I'll bust on somebody, pop off. But no, so like, but I think that was kind of like, they say blessings happen in disguise, and that was kind of like the best thing for me because like I was gonna go away to college and just start a new life. I'd probably be like a teacher now. Yeah. But by getting in trouble, I had to do 50 weekends in jail, so I couldn't leave. Wow. So so the funny thing is like I used that time that whole year to study martial arts.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
this was in Port St. Lucie?
Yeah, I was living in Port St. Lucie.
Okay.
So I studied martial arts, so I was like buying videos. Like me and Paul Rodriguez, who ran an American Top Team in Orlando, he coaches a lot of guys up there. We were in high school together, so he's from Port St. Lucie. So me and him just studied all week. On the weekends, I'd go to jail.
And use it in jail.
Yeah, I learned how to fight. So on the weekends, I could protect myself. Exactly. But that's kind of how I started. It was just like because I just didn't want to get beat up in the street.
That makes sense.
And there wasn't really opportunities to fight. Then opportunities started coming around. Like it was like amateur shoot fighting. And I started doing these matches, and I ended up, I fought Mike Lee. I don't even know Mike Lee. He coaches F2. He coaches Felicia Spencer. He's her coach. Yeah, so he's an old timer. Yeah. He trained Seth Petrozelli. So like I know these guys for a long time. So like me and him fought as amateurs.
Are they still in where are they at now?
They're in Orlando.
They're still in
Orlando.
Awesome.
The Jungle in Orlando. Yeah. So and then I ended up fighting as an amateur shoot fighter. And then I moved to Orlando, and then I started just training and just getting around, man. Yeah. That's how it was, just getting around.
I know that you used to cut hair.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because I got some stories for you. I know Dean well, so this is good. But so I've heard that Dean used to cut the wrestling team's hair and then go and do some wrestling practices after you cut their hair. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so how well were you with cutting their hair? Were you just trying to get the wrestling practice in?
No, I was a legit barber. I had told myself, I was doing, man, in high school, I was making $300-400 a week cutting hair. I was doing 30, 50 heads a week, man, just cutting hair.
Did you find out how to like run a business through that?
Yeah.
Because I know Future now.
No, absolutely. Like, cutting hair taught me so much about everything. It taught me because like not only like do you get to deal with a lot of different people, become like a psychologist, you learn about people, and two, you learn about business. And then you just and I taught myself how to do it. So I taught myself a skill, which helps with fighting, like
for sure,
like learning like processes and steps. So like cutting hair was like great for me as a kid. Yeah. But I used to cut hair, and what I would do with the wrestling teams, I go, if you could beat me, I'll cut your hair for free. And there's one dude, he beat me, man. I'm still looking for it.
What's
Charlie. His name is Charlie.
Charlie, where you at?
Yeah, he was a heavyweight before Port St. Lucie High School.
He's probably still around.
He's he gotta still be around. So I'm looking for him. I'm looking for him right now.
What people don't know is that either you really, really make it if you're from Port St. Lucie, or you're stuck there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's no other way around it. Shout out to people in Port St. Lucie. Don't get mad at me.
No. I dog Port St. Lucie all day. I'm in a position I'm from there.
For sure.
I grew up there.
So like I've kind of adopted it, right? Yeah. So I came there about got there like 19, 20 years old. This is right after I got out of college. But okay, so with all of that, we started that. How'd you get to American Top Team?
Yeah, I was living in Orlando, and I had started the first MMA gym in Orlando. They had Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms, Marcio Simas, and De La Riva had a gym out there. Yeah. But I started the first MMA gym.
Okay.
Me and Jamie Levine, God rest his soul, and a guy named Mike Black, and we had everybody used to come through there. Like a lot of old school cats, like Richie Cronkleton.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Ben Saunders started there.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So we had a squad. I mean, we did have a squad. But like, if you knew the Orlando scene back then, it was like really like people didn't care about fighting. They just want to party. Yeah. So I had fought BJ Penn, and actually no, this was when I fought Iha. For Fabiano Iha. Okay.
This is the UFC at this point.
Yeah, I was already in the UFC. I was self-trained.
Did you fight for lower level shows before that?
Yeah.
You did, right?
Yeah. I came up through the ranks.
Gotcha.
And I made it to the UFC, and I fought BJ. I lost, and I came back and fought Fabiano Iha. Wow. And I remember being there, and this was before it was American Top Team. This is when it was just the Silveira brothers, and I remember seeing them all there, and like I was in a omoplata, and a guy named Clean from Silveira Brothers was like, stand up, and I stood up, and they got out, and I just kind of gave him a thumbs up. And then, but those were the guys who are American Top Team today. Yeah. So then right after that, Alex Davis, who manages a lot of the Brazilian guys, I had met him at a seminar, the Marco Hua seminar, 1997.
That long ago,
yeah.
And he's still around. Yeah. Alex Davis is still around. Shout out to Alex Davis.
Yeah. And he was like, yo, do you want to come down and be American Top Team? We're starting a new thing. But Silveira Brothers is going to be American Top Team. I said, sure. And I packed my stuff up and I moved down to Boca.
Wow. So that started wasn't it like something else? There was Boca Black Belt Club.
Yeah, well, that was the original gym name. It was a small school. It was like probably 1,000 square feet. Called the Boca Black Belt Academy. So we would train there, but on Thursdays, we drive down to Miami to Conan's gym. He had a gym inside of a real gym. Yeah. He had a little spot in there. So we would drive down there and spar on Thursdays.
Nice. All right, so now fast forward, you get that and you're established in the MMA community, and now we are looking to get higher up in the ranks, right? I know this is when you fought BJ Penn. And then what happens after that?
So I fought BJ and lost. but that's when I realized.
Hey, you know what? Well, rightly so. BJ's a monster.
Yeah, but listen, I'm not. There's again, like I always take all these bad things that happen in my life and they come out to be great. You know, exactly. I ended up when I did a stand-up act, that was my best joke. Talking about that. So like, so it doesn't bother me. But so I fought BJ and then So what was the question? It was
So no, just like what happens after
okay.
that.
So yeah, I ended up fighting BJ. Then I fought Ehad and I won that. Then I fought Uno and I lost. Then I fought Matt Serra and I won. And then they got rid of
You
the
beat
division.
Matt, that's right.
Yeah.
You still hold it over his head.
Yeah. Then they got rid of the lightweight division in the UFC.
And it went to WC.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, they went to WEC. So like all like, but at the end, like it wasn't really UFC and the WEC wasn't together at that time.
Okay.
UFC didn't buy them until
or
after.
anything like that, huh?
No,
Okay.
UFC didn't buy them until afterwards. So like,
Wow.
it wasn't like the WEC was like part of the UFC until
Gotcha.
later.
Okay.
So this time, like the UFC wasn't comprised of anything but 170 and up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And WEC was
What
its
year
own
was
entity.
this? What year was this?
2004,
Okay.
5, 2004, 5.
Gotcha.
And then in 2006, it came back afterwards.
Mhm.
Came back in 2006, 2007. They brought back the lightweights.
Gotcha.
But so I had gotten cut from UFC because they got rid of the division, and then that's when I was still fighting like in Japan and stuff, and then I got offered to get on the Ultimate Fighter
At 170.
at 170, and I think my beef with Matt Serra had like got me on there.
Yeah,
Me and him had beef.
yeah.
It's crazy because we're like the best of friends now.
Yeah, I know. That usually happens though.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So yes, and I got on Ultimate Fighter, and then it changed my life. I was right back where just reinvented myself.
For sure.
And that's the key, man. Is just reinventing yourself.
That's it, man. I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
You've seen. It's funny. I got some old interviews of us back in the day. I'm gonna play for now. But so now with the Ultimate Fighter show blowing up, I know that's helped your brand out a lot. And then you ended up opening up Port St. Lucie, ATT Port St. Lucie, or ATTD Thomas as we like to call it. How did you transition into being a business owner as a fighter?
Well, remember, I opened up the first school in Orlando.
That's right.
So like that was like.
So you kind of.
I never knew another life of not teaching because at the time like nobody knew how to fight. So I had to teach everybody how to fight so they could be my training partners.
Yeah.
So like my whole entire career as a fighter had always been comprised of me teaching people how to fight.
You know what they say is that, when you teach, you actually learn more about yourself.
Yeah.
Than anything. So for me, like I've known now that I became a better athlete based off of my coaching, and how I coach. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So now that we're getting into, I know you did the show, people helped you run the gym while you're on the show, obviously. Yeah. Was it 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, I was on the show 6 weeks. Thank God for Dan Donaldson. And Anthony Esposito.
Dan Donaldson is a legend right now.
Yeah, he's a legend.
in Port St. Lucie, he's the man. So anyway, so now we fast forward. I think it was around 2009, 2010 is when I came to your school. I was looking for an MMA gym. Actually, I was looking for a boxing gym because I was boxing on the off season, at Alabama State University, and I was trying to get somewhere because I knew that I wanted to still compete, still fight, and I remember that Buddy McGurk had a gym in Vero, so I went up there, sparred this fucking super heavyweight, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, I kind of got worked, obviously, and I was cool with it, and I was fine, but then he was saying you got to be here 2 times a day, almost every day. I was like, man, that's a far drive from Port St. Lucie to Vero. So I was like, all right, let me find a gym that's close that I can at least train there and maybe go to Buddy's. And that's when I looked up and seen that you had an American Top Team gym. So I was like, I know about American Top Team because I'm from Broward. So I went out there and I remember walking up to you. You remember that?
I do remember that. I'll never forget it.
So I'm like, I'm just gonna run up on him. Let me just see. And I think I may have said like, yeah, I want to fight. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure 95% of the individuals that come in there say that shit. Yeah. And he's like, whatever, kid. How did that, like, what did you
I remember, and Dan could probably tell the story better than I can.
Yeah.
But I remember you came in and you was like, yeah, I want to fight. And I get that all the time. But I was like, I remember, so, you know, we used to have like, you know, sign-up sheets and all that stuff. So I said, damn, this dude, some thug came in there, get rid of him. I was like, yeah, some thug is here, get rid of him.
He did say that. He was like, get rid of that kid, make sure he doesn't come back.
Yeah, I was like, man, I don't want to deal with this. And, and I don't know, man, but you stuck around. Like, I don't know how you stuck around.
I stuck around. Listen, I did not want to do any type of grappling. Like, I was like, I do not want to do it. But you talked me into it, you know, and then actually going through fights and seeing it and seeing how, you know, how advantageous it would be to understand the ground game, which totally changed on. Now that's all I do. You know, I'm in the gi as much as I can right now. But so with that being said, let me play a clip of our first interview together. All right. Now listen, disclaimer, right?
Is it bad language?
No. Well, shit, I don't give a fuck. But what I do want to do, let me just. All right, see if you guys can hear it. I just want to know what's going through your mind after this whole thing happened.
Thomas here, American top team of Port St. Lucie representing. Right here, I'm standing alongside with my man, Phil Daru. Phil, how old are you? Where are you from? And how did you get started in MMA?
First of all, I'm 21 years old, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, down south, representing all day. And I just started first off getting into MMA, you know, fighting in the backyards, in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. You know, just been trying to getting better with my craft, boxing and everything.
It's the best part right here.
It don't matter what it is. I fight anybody, anywhere, anytime.
What's your strength in fighting?
My strength, pretty much everything. I don't have weaknesses.
I felt like the interview was over after that.
Represent American top team for St. Lucie. Infuses the gear, take us to the top.
All right,
Oh
so
my God.
with
that, I'm sweating bullets over here. I'm dying.
So what was going through your mind when anything came out of my mouth?
No, you know what? It's not that bad. I mean, because people can say what they want.
Yeah.
As long if you can prove it, then you have a right to say what you want.
Yeah.
And I knew that you was coming in and doing the work, so like I would prefer that you be a little more on the bigger side, you know, as opposed to playing small.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer that from people. Play big if you can.
Yeah.
If you live a big life, play a big life.
Yeah.
So that doesn't bother me. It's pretty funny to listen to it now, but at the time I don't think I was bothered by that. I was just like, yeah, sell yourself. Play big.
And that was one of my first interviews. You know, obviously, I look at it. Right? So, but what I was thinking was afterwards, I'm like, man, he probably was like, you embarrassed the shit out of me right now. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, like nowadays you're looking at it, you know, the guys that make the biggest money is the ones that can really sell themselves and put themselves out there. You know, even guys that have the highest fight IQ, have the best talent, but don't have the marketability, you're not gonna make it. In my opinion.
No, I 100% I agree with that. I mean, winning solves everything, but at the end of the day, like what really solves everything is people wanting to see you fight. And I've always understood that as an entertainer coming up, which is why I got into doing like improv and acting and stuff. But you know, and I always tell my fighters this: you don't get paid to fight. Mm-hmm. You get paid for people to watch you. Mm-hmm. Fighting is what you're doing while they're watching. That's it.
Very true.
You're
an entertainer.
You get paid for people to watch you. So it doesn't matter really what you're doing. It's just fighting is the craft that you do to people watch. Exactly. But that's not what you pay for. You pay for eyeballs. So like when people go, I want a sponsor's not going to give you free money. They're not just there they're there so that you can advertise their business to your fans.
For sure.
If you have 1 million fans, you can get a sponsor. If you have no fans, they don't care. No. I mean, I always tell people, like, if some little kid ran up on you in the street and said, hey, I have a soccer team, can you give me $20? Are you going to give him $20? Mm. You don't care about his soccer game. And sponsors don't care about your fight career. No. They care about you getting the name of their business out.
That's it. That's even if you don't win.
Yeah, even if you don't win, as long as you get the name of their business out and represent them well.
Yep. I mean, if you look at it, Joanna just scored the monster deal.
Did she really?
This was after she lost.
Yeah. It's because she represented herself well, and she got fans.
Oh yeah,
that's the end of the day. That's what the game is about.
Now that's funny because I know that you know about this. You're a coach now, but you once were a fighter, and I heard in the past, and I know this just in general, that you are an introvert. So how do you overcome that to put yourself out there? Because you are very successful, and you do have people that look up to you and want to listen from you. So how do you get over that hump? You know what I mean? And is it important to do that? And what are the pros and cons of being an introvert?
I would prefer being an introvert. I love my alone time. Like I absolutely just love being alone. Like so during this whole pandemic, I'm like mad because not everybody's enjoying what I always enjoy. Like everybody has to be home. Yeah. But no, I love being home alone. I love that. It helps me to think, helps me to process and understand who I am better. Yeah. But the reality of it is that, in order to sell yourself, people have to be in on your world. Yeah. So I have my own world as an introvert, but in order to get my message out, which is, something, because I'm an introvert, but also like to help people.
Exactly.
So that's what it is. I like to help it. I love to help people, love to see people succeed. I'm a fan of people.
You're a winner.
Yeah.
You're a winner.
And I like to surround myself with winners.
Exactly.
I try to help people become winners. Yeah. But in order to get that out there, I have to let people in on my world. Mm-hmm. So part of that is just letting people in on my world. And I've learned a lot of different techniques and strategies through, to be honest with you, acting helped me with that a lot, just the technique of that.
That's something that I did want to get into a little bit. Now, how did you get into improv? I know that's a passion of yours, hands down. Do you see yourself doing that after coaching full time?
Well, you can't really make a lot of money doing improv, but there are things that I was considering doing in terms of kind of if you look at Tyler Perry did all that stuff on his own. He had his own shows, ran his own variety shows. Yeah. And that was something that I was actually going to do. Before this whole thing started, me and my buddy was going to do a comedy show. We were going to throw a comedy show. Oh yeah? Yeah. But we had to cancel it because of this. Yeah. But I got into it because while I was fighting, I was still going to school. I was always taking classes at school. Mm-hmm. And I took an appreciation to theater. Okay. So then I got into it. The theater guy was like, "You should take acting classes." I do that. So then I started taking acting classes. I was like, "This is really fun, actually." Because I knew I was introverted and I needed to be a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. But then as I was fighting, this is around the same time where I started getting on the Ultimate Fighter and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I said, "Damn, I don't want to have to learn lines." Yeah.
That's probably the hardest part. In my opinion, when we did that short film, I was like, man, he's actually really good. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's for me. I would think that would be the hardest thing. Yeah,
it's developing character and learning lines and stuff like that. I was like, I don't have time for that. So doing improv, you don't have to learn lines and you still get to act. So so I said, all right, I'm just gonna do improv. So, and it just got
freestyle. It's like freestyle.
Yeah, it's like freestyle rap. You don't have to write nothing. You just go in. Yeah. So I just started doing it from just because I didn't want to have to learn lines. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's 10 years ago.
Yeah, and that helped you with public speaking.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Seminars. Do you still do seminars?
A little bit, not as much though. Yeah. I never really did them a lot. But I only do them because I want to help people. Yeah. I don't like that. I never said
it's not a major money.
Yeah, it's something I probably could have done. Yeah. But I just go, if this school needs the help, I'll come by.
Yeah. So what is your major driver of wanting to help people? I know it's self-fulfillment, in a lot of ways. I know that it gives you some purpose, For me, that's at least what it does, So what do you think?
I think, I've always been that way. I remember being in school and just feeling bad for the underdog. Yeah. And feeling sorry for kids sometimes that didn't have what everybody else had. And I always hated bullies. Yeah. And just people who felt like they were better than everybody. I remember I used to work at the House of Blues and I'd see all these guys come in and act like they were tough guys. And I used to just hate them. I'm like, they think they're better than everybody. So I always root for the underdog.
Well, in a sense, you were one of those people.
Yeah.
And now,
like I said, I was small, and that was why I got into fighting. I was so I always thought of myself as the small, unassuming underdog, and I'm an introvert. So I was I want to help them become better, and give them an opportunity to shine.
Yeah, I feel like some of the best fighters are those types of individuals. Look at Rory McDonald. Like, I feel like he was that type of guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Just a bunch of the artists in mixed martial arts,
Yeah.
in my opinion, came from that type of background.
Yeah, and that's, and I said that, to Joe Rogan about like being an artist, and I think that's really what it is. I'm reading a book right now called The Artist's Way.
Nice.
And it's talking
The Artist's Way, guys.
It's The Artist's Way. Yeah. And they talk about as an artist, you need that like this alone time for your artist. Like your artist is like a part of your. It's a different personality of yours. And you have to treat it right. You have to spend time with it.
Exactly.
And when you look at a lot of fighters, they can be kind of awkward sometimes, quirky, but that's just because I think they ain't really tapped into their artist side or really knew about it and expressed it and been able to cultivate it like they want to. They're doing it like inadvertently, but I don't think they've been able to like identify and cultivate it the way they should. And I think that once they do, they become greats. Like a guy like Demetrius Johnson, who's probably an artist, and he's
takes it to the next level.
Yeah.
I think you acquire that skill through hard work on top of you having that mindset too as well, I do want to go over that because I know that a lot of people asked afterwards, like, how can you elaborate on, the fighter, the athlete, the competitor, the artist? Who personifies that in your opinion when the people, I'm talking about the people that you've actually coached? Because I can actually run through it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like I know Will Brooks is an athlete.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt about it.
I think Dustin Poirier is a fighter.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what do you think, like, from the people that you work with, obviously like Tyron and Gray and things like that?
Like who can I put in those boxes?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing you gotta understand is that like no one person is just one. And I think sometimes people go, well, what about this person? They're like both. And I go, well, honestly, to be successful, you have to have elements of all of them at some level, or at least 3 or 4. Yeah, you have to, but one will always stand out. One will always stand out. Like you take a guy like Ryan Hall, who's probably the worst athlete in the UFC, but he's probably the best artist in the UFC, which is why he's successful and people are afraid of him.
True.
But so when I look at that, so like in terms of athletes like Will Brooks, pure athlete, Dustin Poirier, Robbie Lawler, fighter, Robbie /athlete, fighter /athlete. Artists, like I said, Ryan Hall, some really creatives out there, John Jones, Anderson Silva.
I would give him the hybrid of athlete and artist, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I would say Walt Harris is probably the most athletic I've coached.
Yeah, Walt Harris, he's an athlete. But the thing is, some trends that you find is like when they're good athletes, they're not the greatest fighters.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so this is in terms of coaching them, you have to understand those dynamics. And you go, okay, he's an athlete, so he's probably not going to be a fighter. He's probably going to be, so I have to train him to be a competitor.
Okay.
So that's the other one, of being a good competitor. Like a guy like Ben Askren is the greatest competitor I've ever seen. Like he just refuses to lose.
Yeah.
You have to really beat him. So like, as a competitor, Ben's a terrible athlete, but he's a great competitor.
Gotcha.
But so when you got like a good athlete, they don't really make the best fighters. So you start hitting on them. So you got to teach them to compete better.
Gotcha.
So like artists tend to be not great competitors because they care more about their art. I think another artist, what's his name? Gunnar Nelson. Yeah. He's a great artist. True. And he said something about like he would rather lose the first round to get more of a read on his opponent.
That's an artist's way.
Yeah. As opposed to just going, all right, I just got to win this round. I got to score this takedown to win this round. He would rather lose the first round to get a better read of his opponent to figure out what he wants. Yeah. So once you understand that about fighters, it's easier to train them and get what you want out of them. But it takes analysis, and you got to pay attention. And that's, what I like to do as a coach.
100%. Like I always give out a personality test, a written test to see what type of individual am I working with? Whether they're, and we can go through it from, a neurotransmitter perspective. Are they acetylcholine? Are they dopamine dominant? Things like that. And if they're dopamine dominant, most likely they have that fighter mentality because it's that fight or flight. They're trying to win at all times. And that's also a competitive mindset too as well. Now, with that being said, like let's say for instance, I'm an athlete. So when I came into the gym, what did you think of me? What was my category?
Well, at the time I didn't have that, I didn't understand that. I didn't identify that back then. But if I were to look back now and know what I know now looking back then, I would have said, okay, he's probably a fighter athlete.
That's good. I like that. But so then it made sense for me how I trained, because I worked diligently, maybe made some dumb mistakes, obviously, was sidetracked by other businesses in the beginning, and didn't follow through, and maybe made those mistakes based off of not being focused on one specific thing, and for you, I know you do a large amount of things at once. So do I. I've found a way to hone in on each individual subject and focus in on that at that particular time. And then I can calculate my approach based off of my schedule and things like that. How do you balance out all these things that you're doing?
And I struggle with it too sometimes. I really do. Like sometimes I don't get things done the way I want to. But one thing that I've learned to do is just I like create. So every day I'll write down the things that I have to do in that day so that I don't forget. So it's like, all right, check it, go to the store, get gas, wash the car. So I'll write all that stuff down and I just erase it. So like I'm constantly, like a lot of people, I'm on my phone a lot, but I think it's just helpful for me because I'm doing a lot of different things. But all the different things that I do, I have to really break them down and just really say, all right, I have to get this done today. And something that I just heard on David Goggins' podcast, he said break your schedule down into 15-minute segments. Yeah. And that's kind of something that I've done anyway, but I used to do 30-minute segments. So I would go, all right, I'm going to read this book for 30 minutes. I'm going to, I'm working on Spanish. I'm doing Rosetta Stone. I do that for 30 minutes. Yeah. I meditate for 30 minutes. So I write every day for 15 minutes.
What is your meditation? What do you do?
I do different ones. Right now, I'm really trying to perfect the Joe Dispenza meditation. Okay. He's got a specific meditation. I'm really trying to perfect that. It's tough. Yeah. Because it's the whole thing that he does. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. It's hard to stay into it.
That is tough, especially like your mind's racing through all these different subjects. I read a book called Organizing Tomorrow Today. I think I actually sent that to you. But if I didn't, I'll send it to you. But basically what it does is exactly what you're doing, is writing down all the things that you need to do, get it done. That's the most important before 12 p.m. So if you're an early riser, that's perfect. Yeah. But obviously if you get up late or you stay up late, that's a different story. And you kind of calculate that time. Are you an early riser?
I learned, the last couple of years I learned to get up. I started getting up at 5.
Because I remember you used to be up all night.
Yeah. Well, that changed in me. Yeah. So I learned the importance of sleep, and I still go through my moments where I have, really bad sleep problems, but I try to do my best to sleep as best as I can because, I read that book by Matthew Wells, Why We Sleep. It's just like, man, I'm ruining myself.
I actually am getting into it with I'm actually going to have a sleep coach work with the athletes.
Really? Yeah.
I think it's going to be highly important for them to understand how to sleep, quality sleep. Yeah. And a lot of guys, deviated septums and things like that, they breathe through their mouth. And that ends up causing disruption in the sleep pattern. So you wake up with a dry mouth, you're holding your breath at some points. You may need a CPAP machine, something like that. And a lot of the fighters have that issue. I know Joanna has a tough time falling asleep and staying asleep because of the fact that she has a deviated septum. She just breathes through her mouth. I can imagine. Yeah, that's a really important thing. It's funny you bring all this stuff up, like, people need sleep coaches and all that. And I think where MMA is going, all that stuff is important. There's so many different, but not all of it is important in terms of like, I don't think that every fighter needs all of that, but I think it needs to be available because at some time, fighters going to need probably a sleep coach, a mental coach, whether it's a nutritionist or a strength and conditioning coach. Like at some point, they're going to need that. So these guys need to be readily available. But I think the MMA guys have to be open to it, and I think that's a problem with a lot of MMA guys today, especially like coaches from my generation that are not open to it because we've always just been like,
you gotta be a tough guy.
Yeah.
Just be tough.
Yeah.
Just be tough. Just be strong. Just do it this way. But like, dude, like, that worked when, guys were making, a couple $100 a fight. But now we're talking about livelihoods and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Imagine the NFL being like, well, just be tough.
Yeah, that doesn't really work out. So you have a short career. And that makes sense, man. Like, I like the fact that somebody like yourself, who's been in the game forever, understands adapting to the new times. These athletes you're bringing in a lot more athletic individuals like Greg Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, these types of guys, they need that extra work. They need that extra almost pampering in a way, right?
Yeah.
They need to learn how to properly manage their fatigue. Not just be like, oh, fuck that, go ahead and just drill some more.
Yeah, that's not going to work for a guy like him. He didn't have that time. Like, he didn't have that background.
Mm-hmm.
He needs that extra time.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to learn how to do things the way for him.
Yeah.
If you just throw him in a room with everybody, it's not going to work out well for him. He's going to end up getting hurt or hurting somebody.
Yeah.
So it's going to be dangerous. So like, he needs special attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see you guys do that. You and Jolly really take after him a lot, and I know that for him, he needs that guidance in a way, because he's came up he's been a star football player all his life, and now he comes into a new world where he's been catapulted into the UFC, like super fast. So he needs that guidance in a way. In my opinion, honestly, I've never had an issue with him. Like, every time I talk to him, good guy. In my opinion, I know he's had his issues in the past. We can't really speculate what happened there and whatever. But for me, he's always been, very polite, very respectful in that way.
Always respectful. Respects his coaches. He's never said no to anything. He just what people don't understand is that he just didn't know how to fight.
Yeah.
And so the thing is he got to the UFC after a year. He had his first amateur fight was a year in, and 2 years into his training, he was in the UFC. And I was trying to like put this to people, and I go, this is a guy, like, if he came in off the street after 2 years, he might have a blue belt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure.
You wouldn't even let him spar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he wouldn't even be sparring.
Yeah.
And you expect him to just go out and, but this guy, he's training with Arlovski, and he's sparring with Arlovski.
Yeah.
He's wrestling with Mako. It's like, dude, you can't, like, and he didn't even know how to wrestle. Yeah. He didn't even know how. He was just like going off of instinct.
Yeah. That's like somebody trying out for the Dolphins and being like, your first team starter.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
So I was like, that's not how you skill, though. That's not how you learn. That's just not how you learn.
Yeah. It takes time.
Do the studies on it. It's like, you don't just go to school and just like, all right, take tests. You gotta learn.
For sure.
So I don't know. So that's why I took to Greg and was like, let's learn how to do this the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you were a big advocate on drilling. Like, we drilled a lot when we were coming up. Shout out to all my teammates back in the day at ATT. Yeah, you got Rock Georges. You got Mike Burns,
Chad
Livingston. Shout out to those guys. Raymond.
Yeah, Ray Camp.
Yep. But I remember us just diligently drilling. And we would some days we'd come in at 5 a.m, some days we'd do midnight work, whatever time we could get it in, because again, a lot of these guys had night shifts and things like that, and we had the training going on. What made you understand the importance of drilling?
It's funny, because I didn't know why I thought it would work, but like now I have a better understanding of why. I just knew it was important. Mm-hmm. But basically what happens is, it just becomes second nature. You build these neural pathways in your brain on how to do things based on recognition. Yep. So when you're in positions and you can recognize those positions, you can make decisions faster if you drill it. If you don't drill it, and it kind of like, and I understand the different ways of drilling. I have different methods of drilling for different, for different intentions. So, but at the end of the day, but I think a lot of people have it wrong. They just go, drilling, let's just do these moves real slow, or let's just do it, and then, get the B side. It's like dead fishing, and you're not doing it right. Yeah. Your drilling has to have intent, so that you can build the neural pathways and make decisions faster, and you can recognize positions and get to the moves and do them properly.
Yeah, do them when you're fatigued.
And just doing it properly.
Yeah,
and you know, some people get it, some people don't, some people pick it up faster than others. It's just, everybody's a little different, but I do believe in drilling a lot and, you know, identifying your intentions of what you're drilling and why you're drilling. You know, I'm really big on that.
So let me ask you this. Now, I know that drilling is important, obviously. Practicing the same movements over and over again to get it right, for muscle memory in a way, right? For lack of better terms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when does it become a negative thing? And what I mean by that is, when do you accommodate and it actually becomes worse because you're overthinking? Because I know just a biological law, the law of accommodation. You do things over and over again. After you have became an expert in that, when do you transition into the next level?
That's a very tricky subject. And because people always go, because I've been accused of this too. Again, I didn't understand it at the time, but now I do as a coach because I did more research on it and I studied it more.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's never a problem with overthinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's underdoing is the problem. It's not the overthinking is the problem. Like, you should be thinking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You should be figuring, you should be identifying what's going on and analyzing, but you also need to be working.
Yeah.
You also need to have something to do while you're thinking, something effective to do while you're thinking. And that's the problem. But you can drill that. You know what I'm saying? If you know this guy's got a good right hand and I want to counter his right hand, I'm not going to wait for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing something to get him to throw the right hand so that I can counter it.
Gotcha.
So the problem isn't in overthinking.
Yeah.
It's underdoing. But and if you really want to be a step ahead, drill what you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying?
That goes kind of hand in hand with situational drilling.
Yeah. It goes hand in hand with situational drilling. But drill what you want to be thinking about.
Yeah, it's important. I know that when I got things down, especially on the ground, like with the ground game, it took me a little bit longer just because of the fact that it was newer, you know. But then when I started to realize like different leverages and positions, and then I knew it became second nature, and then I was 2 or 3 steps ahead of that individual. You know, I remember, and you talk about this, like me being categorized as a fighter athlete, right? I remember you like smashing me in sparring, like dig into my body, and then we get to the ground and you would just like submit me at will. But I learned through that trial by fire to never do that again, or at least get caught in those situations again.
Yeah, again, that helps too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that helps too. Like there's a lot of different ways to get to your destination.
Yeah.
So like you can do it by trial through fire, or I can just tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can just say, don't do that.
That's true.
And give you an alternative.
Have you ever been like in a situation where that fighter just never needed to actually go through it without you telling them?
Yeah, sometimes they do. Some guys are hard-headed.
Yeah.
You know?
I can see that. I mean, I see that now with the coaching that I do. You know, and sometimes people are visual, auditory, and actual learners. Like they need to get in there and actually do it.
Yeah, like being a good coach, and this is something, and I'm sure we'll get into this eventually. You know, like why I'm not with American Top Team anymore.
Yeah.
But being a good coach is a difficult thing because it's almost, and to quantify it, you have to be able to prove it, and that's what I'm trying to do, and which is why I wanted to go off on my own, is so that I can prove that I'm a good coach.
100%.
Because you can be given some guys some good athletes and some good fighters, and just say, "Oh, here, hold this towel," and you're going to walk out with them and fight, and now you got all the credit for making this guy good. And that's not, you didn't make them good; they were good anyway before that. Yeah, they were good way before that. You may have just showed them a few things, but that doesn't make you a good coach.
I know that that's something that you've been working with a lot. Like you've been working with the up and comers, or we call like the prospects in a way, right? And I think that's very commendable because it puts you out there. It makes you accountable to actually get the job done because you can't rely on their abilities just yet. You have to be a good coach.
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah,
I have to. And I don't feel I've been able to really do that well, you know, honestly. So I wanted to give myself a real chance of doing it. I could fail miserably.
Yeah.
You know, I could go, I'm a great coach and I'm going to take these guys and prove it, and I can fail miserably. But I'm willing to put myself out there and do that.
You know what, though? I don't think you give yourself enough credit because if you look at Tyron Woodley, you basically helped him up throughout his entire career. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at that, I know he's got God-given talent. I know he has the abilities, but you helped mold that.
Yeah. he'll tell you, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't like we worked every day for like years, but when we got together, I gave him the pieces that he needed at times when he needed them in order to get where he got. You know?
So who are the prospects that you have right now?
Right now I have Jillian Robertson. She's probably gonna be with me for life. Now,
Yeah. Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie is like, yeah, she's like my daughter.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when she came to my gym, she was doing a boot camp, and she wanted to train. And I was like, go see Dean Thomas. Yeah. And so she started up. I remember that. Yeah. She started doing boot camps with me, and that's when it all went together. But now she's in the UFC.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, but she's like a person who right now I'm really going to invest in. Yeah. And just go, I'm going to really, you know, use this as my test. So like Jillian, and she's just getting better now that I'm actually working with her every day as opposed to like once a week or once every couple of weeks for 30 minutes when I can. But now I'm like really investing, like identifying her weak areas and her strong areas and just really working with her hands-on every day now. So
that's something that you said on Rogan's podcast where you were talking about the individuals in Europe and like overseas, and how they can just kind of be more, you know, diligent with their time with that individual because they only have so many that they can work with. Yeah. And I know at ATT we do have a large amount. I think we have over 150 fighters, you know, and all at the highest level. Me, myself, I coach over 80 fighters. So it's very hard for me to calculate times and schedules and things like that, but I have to make it happen. Now, could it be better? Of course, it always can be. I think I do really appreciate the sacrifices you just made to work with these individuals and get them better. And then also for your own, you know, just self-reliance of like, okay, this is what I need to do to get to where I want to be and to feel happy about what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I just, for whatever reason, I don't know, man, I'm a man of integrity. Yeah. And like, I wasn't fully happy with, you know, how it was working out. Yeah. It was easy, you know, it's easy. Yeah. But just because it's easy doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
But so I want to be able, and not that I say I want to do things the hard way. I just want to be able to do things what I feel is the right way, to where I can go, man, this is, you know, like for instance, like when I'm with Jillian and she, you know, she stopped her, she lost her last fight, but the fight before that, she stopped this girl with elbows. And we worked on that. So I go, listen, this is something that we worked on and we did this. Yeah. So that's my thing. And but I have a couple of fighters that I think that will stick around with me and that I'm going to be working with.
They're loyal, you know. I think that they're loyal, and you know, obviously it's going to be different with you not around at American Top Team. Arguably one of the best coaches I've ever had, and I feel like that's, you know, arguably one of the best coaches that they will ever have in the gym. So, you know, farewell to ATT for you. I do appreciate everything you've done for me, by the way, and everything that you've done for ATT. You know what I mean? Like you really, honestly, you were one of the pioneers for American Top Team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was sad to go just because, like I said, I've been since 2002. Yeah, you know, so it's a long time.
Yes,
as a fighter, as a coach, you know, I would do things like a representative. I was an ambassador for American Top Team, so it was tough. But like I said, at the end of the day, you know, I'm getting older and I'm at the end of my career in terms of like, you know, being just being on the battlefield. So I want to just end it off doing it my way.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, you're doing more things now, obviously.
Yeah, I'm doing more things. I don't want to be tied down.
I know you're acting. You want to do acting, right? That's something that's in the pipeline. For sure. I actually have a short film that we did together. Yeah. Right, Sandbox Memory. So I'm going to go ahead and play that real quick.
I'm most proud of this more than anything else.
To be honest, it's the first time I've actually got to see you act, and I was like, damn, he can actually act. And I seen it firsthand. Like, you were actually really good. So let's play real quick. Let me see here. I'm going to show the clip of when I did hit the cue ball.
Man, this kid's fucking trash.
Shout out to Richie Serta.
Yeah, no, right?
So
Richie Serta, my man.
Most of these guys get the check and then they fucking check out. Right. It's like, this kid's not a fucking GOAT. He can't carry a team. He's not a leader.
Well, he's still too young mentally.
Yeah, he's probably fucking hungover every game.
Yeah.
Yo, he's no LeBron.
Nah, he ain't no Jordan.
Exactly. I mean, you can fucking tell Jordan loved the fucking game. This kid.
This is when it gets really good. I don't want to give out the whole movie. You got to go check it out on YouTube. So what we're going to do is we'll go to right here when shit hit the fan.
PTSD or some shit, all right?
I don't have PTSD.
I don't know. You got some shit. You got some shit, man. All right.
I sleep like a fucking baby.
All right, calm down. All right. You want to talk, man? I'll talk to you, man. I fucking hear you. I hear you out. And the bartender's here too, man. You might call the cops or some shit. I don't know.
Big Mike?
Yeah, man. Fucking Big Mike.
Yo, Big Mike doesn't give a shit about you. He was in my fucking platoon. That's my brother right there, man. Yeah. Oh, man.
You had to throw the pool stick down like that.
Had to make it more more of an interesting topic right there. That was perfect. And you know what was so funny about that was that at the end you get choked out.
Yeah.
You know, by Richard, which is funny. Obviously, Dean's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so that was the funniest thing. But I remember like we met up to do, you know, just basic runovers and stuff like that. And I remember you just like going through different lines. Like you kind of did it, but then you did it a different way and then a different way. You guys kept doing it kind of improv style.
Yeah.
Which I was like, man, that's how it's done, I guess, you know, to find that way, you know? So did you, like when you were coming up, I know that acting is something that's new to you right now a little bit. Not too much.
But I mean, I'm by no way, you know.
But honestly, bro, like I said, that was awesome. Like,
Thank you.
And I play Big Mike, by the way.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have probably a number 2. So
Yeah.
I gotta call Richie, man, because I feel like I should have got more lines.
Yeah. Me and Richie, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something soon.
Yeah?
Don't worry.
Man, give me a call.
I got
Give me
you.
a call.
I got you.
So, all right, man. Well, anything that you want to plug or anything like that? I know you got some programs out. I know you got the firm. Talk about that a little bit so they can get on that, you know.
Yeah, so, you know, the firm is something that me and King Mo started just to give ourselves another platform to just spread knowledge and help people. I mean, it's not that like intensive, you know, it's just, you know, something that we can just kind of share like little tidbits.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and you share little tidbits or just, you know, whatever, advice.
Yeah,
You know, some little things. Yeah. So just follow us, The Firm MMA on Instagram, The Firm MMA on Instagram. So now afterwards, what I'm doing is I'm putting together my MMA manifesto.
Nice.
So everything I've learned about martial arts
Wow.
into mixed martial arts, into everything from, you know, technique and strategy and psychology. I want to do a section on like how to study film and all these different things, man.
Wow.
You know, even for coaches, you know, things to help for coaches. So
Definitely think coaches will benefit from this a lot.
yeah, and
But is this like a program or is it going to be more of like just like a weekly thing?
I'm right now. I'm still debating on how I want to execute. You know, delivering this. I've been contacted by a couple of different production companies that guys wanted to do it and help distribute it. But I don't know if I'm going to do that or just do it on my own. So right now I'm kind of in the process now to figure out, do I want to do it on my own or do I want to have somebody else do it for me?
Let's talk about that after. And then you got a YouTube channel now?
I do, but I don't use it. I probably should use it.
Yeah. And I think that Dean needs to open up and do his own podcast as well. And you have ESPN Radio.
Yeah. So I do ESPN West Palm. So make sure you listen to me 3 to 5 every day.
Now, we got to talk, your co-host. We got to talk about him.
Who, Josh Cohen?
I'm not going to nail because I'm pissed. Because he tells me, Josh, because I know Josh for a while now. And Josh goes, on my Instagram, thanks for the invite. I said, man, thanks for the invite for never getting me on ESPN Radio. What happened with that?
See, do you see how he is?
No,
to invite what to come and do this podcast?
Yeah.
He's
crazy.
He's such a scrub.
But But you know what? The most dapper dressing.
Oh yeah.
Like he hooked me up with my first tailor.
Did he really?
Yeah, for the awards.
And to be honest with you, what he does. He's the best I've ever seen do it in terms of like hosting events and shows and even the radio show. Like he's the best ever.
That's dope.
He's super good at what he does.
Maybe we'll get him on. Maybe.
Yeah.
I do want to come to this radio station. Though.
Yeah, I'm trying to. He needs to get you on.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up now.
Okay.
But I do want to thank you for coming on. It's been an awesome podcast.
We'll check out Shack Life tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah, Shack Life.
Shack Life tonight, Tuesday night.
It's Thursday night.
Yeah, so Thursday night.
Shack Life.
All right, what's
on TNT.
TNT.
Yeah.
TNT Shack Life. My man is on it, doing it well, making leaps and bounds in the industry. Thank you, Dean Thomas, for coming on, and we're out.
Thank you. Peace.
Phil Daru, American Top Team Strength and Conditioning Coach here. Check out my free triphasic training program that I use for all my UFC fighters. Click the link in the description to find out how you can get started.